It looks like Russia has expanded its military offensive, targeting 2 cities in the west, as well as the major city of Dnipro in the east. What can you tell us about these strikes, and are there fears that Lviv, where you are, could also be targeted?
That's right, Joe. In the early hours of this morning, the Russians widened their attacks and they targeted the central city of Dnipro. Officials there say that there were 3 airstrikes in Dnipro at around 5 a.m. local time. They hit a shoe factory, a kindergarten, and an apartment building, and there's reports of 1 civilian death there. And then, of course, much further northwest, they hit Lutsk and Ivano-Frankivsk. Those 2 cities had not been hit since the first day of the war, so that is the furthest west that they have hit so far in week 3 of this war. And there were 2 airports in that area as well, and that's possibly why they were targeted, that have military facilities. So they are widening their campaign. And of course, the city of Kyiv is under relentless bombardment. The mayor of that city said that in just 1 day, it had been bombed 89 times. Now, of course, there are fears that this will stretch out to Lviv, where we are, further out west. At about 5 a.m. this morning, air raid sirens went off in our hotel. So it is jittery here. Now, Lviv also has a major airport, and it's a big connection to the Western countries that are helping Ukraine. Lviv also has a military aspect to its civilian airport, and it's the only place that hasn't been hit with a military function in this war so far. So it could be a target, but we're watching for developments every day to see how the Russians are progressing and how it will affect the western side of the country.
Of course, we're all hoping you and all our colleagues there can stay safe. Ali, I want to ask you about the situation in and around Kyiv. What is the latest on that large Russian military convoy that's been slowly moving toward the capital? How close is it to the capital now?
That's right. They seem to be edging forward now. They've moved about 3 miles in the last 36 hours. They're probably about 10 miles out right now. But Kyiv is a fortress city. People have dug in there. It's a city of 4 million people. 2 million of them have left. But people talk about it having decent defenses, a lot of resilience. And so they're waiting for the fight. A lot of people say it's going to be very difficult for the Russians to encircle Kiev because it's so big, and people are so determined not to let the Russians in. But that's going to be one of the most strategic places that Moscow is looking at taking over. And if they do take Kiev, then what happens to the government there? Does Zelensky stay and fight? Does he move out here west where we are and start a provisional government? So that's a very sensitive point that we're all watching very closely to see what happens in Kiev over the next few days and how that Russian advance goes.
And Ali, those humanitarian corridors that we've been talking about the last few days, they're opening up again today. How have those evacuations been going, especially in Mariupol, which is one of the hardest hit cities right now?
That's right. They're talking about, the Ukrainian government is talking about opening up 12 humanitarian corridors today to get people out of some of the hardest hit war zones on the eastern front of the country. Now, as you well know, Joe, the Russians have not honored a lot of those corridors. They've targeted those areas where civilians have been trying to get out of. The Ukrainians have been very critical about that, saying that they've shown no humanitarian issues whatsoever, and the bombing has been relentless. Now, I spoke to some people today. I said, how easily are people getting out of, especially places like Mariupol that's been hit so hard? They said, look, their plans are in place, but we just won't know for several hours until those buses are able to make that perilous journey, and we'll know if the Russians have honored a temporary ceasefire to let civilians, women, children, and the elderly out of those very hard-hit areas.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.